When trying to lose fat, people often follow the common advice of eating less and moving more. This is a mistake because even if you can create a caloric deficit which is helpful for fat loss to happen, you will struggle in your journey because it's simply unsustainable. Why? Because they create a caloric deficit that does not mean they will lose fat. Why is that? A caloric deficit is supposed to be something beneficial, right? Yes, it is. But what if I tell you that your caloric deficit is not appropriate? Because you can have a caloric deficit and maybe just burn your glycogen out, and little to no fat of your own fat is burned. That's why most people tend to fail to improve their body composition, because they try to just simply eat less of what they are already eating. And even those who succeed with this method know that it's very hard to follow. And chances are that when they finish their eating period, their dieting period, they will regain the weight they lost and maybe some extra in some cases. That's why today we're going to look at what's the appropriate manner to lose weight and why this is so mistakenly wrong. The fact that we have to eat less. We don't have to. We should eat better. We should focus on our hormones. We need to keep our insulin low. What's insulin? Okay, insulin is a hormone produced by the beta cells of the Langerhans islots in the endocrine pancreas. Insulin has the role to put sugar inside the cell because high levels of glucose in the bloodstream are dangerous. The problem with the insulin is that it's very anabolic, which means that it gets small molecules and stimulates the growth of them to create larger molecules. That happens in the muscles, so they can grow. And sadly for us, insulin also makes fat to grow because it feeds the adipocytes. Remember, the role of insulin is to get glucose inside the cell, and it will eventually get sugar inside the adipocytes, which are fat cells. By doing that, you are feeding those cells and they will grow. It's very interesting to maybe look at the counter hormones of insulin, which are glucagon, epinephrine, norepinephrine, and because these hormones, what they do is they stimulate the fat mobilization, which is the way our body uses fats as fuel. They will get the fat from the body and they will make energy out of it. So by triggering these hormones is much more effective the fat loss, because you're targeting your fat storages instead of trying hopelessly for a caloric deficit that is not sustainable. This is the reason why we need to change our diet. We don't have to eat less, we have to eat better. And by changing the quality of our diet, it will make sure that our fats are triggered to get broken down into energy. The thing is that when people say, oh, I burned 500 calories because I'm in a deficit. Okay, but where do they come from? Have you ever wondered, what are you burning with those 500 calories? What is it? Is it fat? Is it glycogen? Is it muscle? Because if you eat badly, you can be in a deficit and lose muscle. And that's a real problem, because muscles are very important. Do you start to see the point in all of this? Please don't simply eat less. you will starve yourself, you will not enjoy the process, and the point is you don't even have to. I mean, the majority of times it does more harm than good, because people tend to follow for a little bit of time, but then they will start to binge eating on weekends. What I want you to know is that we don't have to treat our body like a calorie magic bomb. We are much more complex than that. We have enzymes, hormones, signals, emotions. We're not the byproduct of a mathematical equation. There's much more in that. We are better than that. Our health does not rely only on numbers. My suggestion is to eat better, not less, and move more if you wish. Stay tuned for more content. More information is coming. I will upload more videos soon. Hope you enjoy it.